of Shadows Over Stillwater, which is a Call of Cthulhu campaign set in the Down Darker Trail setting that's Wild West Cthulhu. I am joined, as I always am, by this fine cast of folk, and let's have them introduce themselves. Art, do you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, I'm Art. I played Dr. Joseph Waite, and the last time we saw me, I think Joseph may have just realized we erred significantly.
There has been some erring. Some erring has been had, indeed. Daniel, what about you?
Hey, I'm Daniel, and I'm playing Mountain Man Griff Gutherson, who would like to remind you that to err is human, but to forgive is divine.
Well, you might need a little forgiveness, considering...
Oh, lots of forgiveness, I think.
David, the other source of the erring.
Yeah, I was going to say, g'day, I'm Dave. I'm playing Grease, and I was going to make a Bananas in Pajamas reference, because he's P1 and I'm P2 or whatever, but something more global than that. We're the collective idiots. We've really fucked this up.
We fucked it up, but
Tweedledee,
we stuck
Tweedledum
to
would
the
have been
plan.
better.
We stuck to the plan, though. We stuck to the plan.
It's a team fuck up.
It's a team fuck up.
Yeah.
Jackson, what about you?
What about me? I'm Jackson. I'm playing U.S. Marshal Jeremiah MacDonald, who very carefully, I think, laid the intrusion plans into the laboratory under the mountain, and is now starting to realize that there was a rather large wrench placed in them. Well, was it a wrench? No, it was our fault. It was a poorly laid plan.
It will be resolved, I'm sure. And Rachel.
Hi, my name is Rachael. I play Adda Blanca Ward, and I am just here along for the ride. I am cool with whatever happens. I just want to go with the flow.
Absolutely.
Specifically, what do you call it? Like pirate? What's the flow of lava called?
Yeah, specifically the
magma.
Specifically the flow of lava.
So a little background, if you haven't joined us before and have been mystified by all of this information, let's...
What a time to join! Right in the middle of it.
Our heroes are a collection of folks who are hot on the heels of the Green-Eyed Gang, who are a group of outlaws. They found one of them hiding away in a town called Stillwater, where a mysterious sickness was poisoning the local people, and it turned out that a strange group of serpent people were behind it. They stopped the serpent people and then found another group of serpent people operating out of a town called Santa Rosita. Upon arriving in Santa Rosita, they found another member of the Green-Eyed Gang, but it turned out to be a serpent person in disguise. Anyway, they've tracked down the source of where that serpent person came from. They found the serpent person lair near Santa Rosita, which is inside a dormant volcano, and they've dropped dynamite into the volcano, which it turns out the serpent people were going to try and erupt to fire a virus that they've been building all over New Mexico and spread it across the world. And now this dynamite fuse is lit and falling, and imminent disaster is on the horizon. I think that covers everything.
Can I just say, I'm impressed with the amount of time you said the word serpent person without messing up. That sounds like a tongue twist.
Serpent person.
person.
No, I can't do it.
Serpent person.
Person.
Sally sells serpent people by the seashore. Don't buy them. They will eat you. Anyway.
They're listening devices.
Exactly. So, I suppose let's jump right into the scenario and let's figure out if we can save New Mexico. So, before we jump into the barren, hideous heat of the countryside surrounding Stillwater, not Stillwater, but Santa Rosita, before we jump into the disaster about to occur inside the volcano, before we jump back to the conflict that is sure to emerge as the serpent person talking to Blanca, Doc, and the Marshal either turns and runs or decides to attack, well, I would like everybody to answer a little question for me. It's a similar thing to what we did last time when we jumped into a session in the middle of a rampant disaster. Grease.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you a question. You've got someone in the Green-Eyed Gang who you've got a grudge against, who you're slowly trying to track down. That person is Jim Owens, if I recall correctly.
It ain't a grudge, it's a vendetta.
All right.
They're different. One's more official.
Okay, well, this is an official grudge, I suppose, a vendetta. Now, what are you going to do when you finally get the chance to make good on that vendetta?
Ah.
When you can finally, what's your plan? Once
I mean,
it's all done and dusted,
I've been dreaming about it. Most time when we're on the road, I picture how it's going to go down in my head. We're going to meet Dusty Alley, nice and long, sun setting behind me. I pull out my pistol. He draws first. I draw faster. Bam! One to the skull. And then I go home.
you go home. But
Easy
what I'm
as.
really interested in is, what does that look like afterwards? You go home.
Oh, after?
At home, what's the scene after this is done? What does a new world without this person in your
think-
life look like?
I think I'm very consumed by the act. I don't think I know yet. I'm from Chicago and I was raised in like a nunnery or whatever it's called. So I don't really have a home. I guess I keep doing this, maybe? I don't know.
I guess Greece doesn't like to think about it.
Yeah,
so much.
and no, I don't.
It's an interesting thought. You've all been pondering exactly what's going to happen when you track down your rivals in the Green-Eyed Gang, or some of you track down the details and ongoing effects that are related to the Green-Eyed Gang that are relevant to your character. The only person who's managed to actually do that is Mac. Mac, the evening after, the day rather after you hung Hank Hanratty, what did Mac do?
Reflected.
Studied.
Well, actually, to be honest, a lot of paperwork. I probably would have had to written to the judge or the court that signed the papers, and made sure that all got squared away. And then probably like disappeared and stood by the unmarked grave, reflecting on the duality of man and nature of what it is to be human and all that good stuff. Philosophical stuff that goes over Jackson's head, but Mac's right into it.
All right. Sounds excellent. I think that there's a lot to be said for the importance of what happens afterwards, what happens after you fulfill this grudge. And for Blanca, the time to fulfill this grudge might be at hand. Inside the mountain, presumably, at least based on what the Serpent People have said, is Maria Romero, your rival, your target, the person who betrayed you. And now is the chance you're going to have to make things right. So, down on the ground, the serpent person points behind themselves and says, "One small explosion," and all of a sudden there is a colossal boom as a dynamite stick goes off, and all of you are thrown sideways to the ground as one small explosion occurs, and suddenly everything is chaos. I would like all of you to make for me a Constitution check. Not the two of you on the roof. You're
Oh
gonna
my
be doing
god, Griff, what did you do?
Can I argue that it isn't a small explosion? That dynamite's quite a big explosion. Therefore, you know what? We're fine.
Hey, yeah, you gotta. It's like snakes and ladders. If you overshoot, you have to go back down.
You have to go back down. Exactly.
We'll get to that in just a minute. Okay.
Cutting
Joseph,
reference to snakes and
extreme
ladders.
success. You said that you realized that there was an erring happening. So you realized what's going to happen just in time. You managed to get your hands to your ears. Blanca and Mac, the two of you are just tough. You're able to withstand the force as you're both thrown sideways, and the ground starts shaking violently. The earthquakes that have been slowly coaxing, pressuring the volcano into exploding are suddenly firing again and again and again. The entire ground is shaking, and you can hear this deep rumbling that shakes and reverberates through the earth. In front of you, the serpent person in the form of Maria Romero
I hope freaks the fuck out.
Or dies.
with a 95
Ooh.
flap sideways, fall to the ground, and start hissing and yelling, trying to get up and clinging at their ears and screaming in Narkal, the language of the serpent people. Now, not many people speak it, but Doc, you do, and you can get something along the lines of, "No, no, no!"
Those idiots.
Oh,
Well, I mean, if they're upset, that's
Yeah,
not
if
such a
they're
bad
upset,
thing.
That's good.
I mean,
I think this is progress.
I feel like a tiny part of me, if we had a moment, was just gonna be like asking the serpent, "Do you need to leave too? Like, is it safe for you if everything explodes before you leave?" I think I've got my answer.
Can we call you an Uber?
Yeah, pretty much. So before the three of you, you're all sort of standing shocked, looking at what is now a large plume of oddly colored smoke that is drifting out the top of the volcano. And all of a sudden, the serpent person struggles to their feet and begins to sprint at top speed back towards the entryway to the volcano. So, do the three of you do anything? Do you want to try and
I
stop?
chase that snake person.
All right, Blanca
Let's
takes off.
I believe it. I don't for a second. It doesn't occur to me that our colleagues have caused this.
Okay.
I think this is
we
all
didn't.
snake. So I'm chasing that one down.
All right, you're sprinting after the snake person, so you're tearing towards the entryway to the volcano. What about you, Doc?
I am torn because I'm genuinely not sure which is more dangerous, being outside of the mountain with all the gas, or being inside the mountain with the exploding mountain. But given Blanca's running, I think that probably makes my decision, and I'm like, nope, gotta go.
I have
Okay.
35 intelligence.
All right, Mac, you can see Joseph. He's began to run forward, holding his doctor's bag under one arm, and Blanca, swinging up her shotgun, is tearing forward, the two of them powering along after the serpent person. What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be legging it as well. I think my first thought is if it's happening now, we got to get those people in the prison cells out of there.
Okay, sounds like a good idea. So, imagine a tiny couple of specks, figures tearing along towards a mountain, dwarfed by the enormity of the range around them and the plume of smoke that is now going up into the air. Meanwhile, up at the top of the volcano, looking over the rim, specifically inside that little kind of tunnel that led in where you can see inside, where you can see all the balloons filled with gas and this weird scaffolding around it.
Yep.
You drop down the dynamite, you wait for a couple of seconds. Do either of you say anything?
I feel
All according to
confident in our
plan.
decision.
This will not turn on us.
Hey, Griff, high five.
I'm back.
Yeah.
And just as you try to get your hands towards each other, boom! The entire world explodes around you, and the first thing that happens is the ground just crumbles, and you are both falling.
Oh, shit.
Whatever was plugging this in, you are tumbling through the air, through the vastness of this cabin. There are ledges and rock slides all around you. You're slamming into scaffolding. You're hitting balloons. I want both of you to make a jump check.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh. I think from memory we're both okay at jumping.
J for
right?
jump.
Oh, I think I'm.
J for jump!
No.
Okay, fantastic. With
Sorry,
a
J for jump.
success.
Oh no, can I climb?
No.
You're going
Unfortunately,
down.
At this stage, you're falling. Trust me, you're going to have an opportunity to... God.
No consequences.
The two of you, relying mostly on dumb luck, manage to just start tumbling through the air where you're slamming into scaffolding, you're slamming into little bits of rock, but neither of you managed to break a significant number of bones. You skid around until finally you land hard on a section of the scaffolding further down, and you're dazed and you're confused, and there are balloons firing all around you and beginning to drift into the air. There's smoke billowing all about. Everything is shaking around you. The two of you realize you're in the center of an erupting volcano, and I need you both to make a sanity check.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, that tracks.
You know what? That's... All right. There are
Why?
consequences.
I
Oh,
only succeeded.
unbelievable.
All right, okay. So I'm going to need you to take 2 sanity damage, Grace.
You got it.
On a success, you're not going to take anything, Grace.
I'm starting my
And
ticker for the today.
As the two of you struggle up to your feet and you look around, you start to hear hisses and strange noises emanating from further below. The interior of this place is collapsing around you. Now, once again, for perspective, you are in the middle of a giant hollow cavern, the center of the volcano. You're on a weird set of wooden scaffolding that previously surrounded collections of odd balloons filled with gas, but several of them have popped now. The balloons are drifting up into the air. There is smoke everywhere. There is dust and crumbling rock. What are the two of you doing?
I mean, we gotta go deeper. Found the others. Their only chance of solving this.
All right. So the two of you turn, you get up, and you start to sprint down, heading deeper and deeper. Now, since none of you have mentioned it, as you sprint down, lungs heaving, you begin to breathe in more and more of this gas. And I will need both of you to make for me a constitution check.
And then after I breathe it in, I will then put on the bandana I have.
Okay.
Shit. 7 points of luck. You can have it.
All right. Sounds, yeah. Oh, okay. Both of you succeed, which means that everything starts to burn and you realize that you're breathing in this stuff before it really starts to affect you. And as you're coughing and spluttering, you get your bandanas up and begin to tear deeper down into this thing, hoping that you can find the others and get to safety. Outside, Now, Blanca, you were the first one to take off. You leapt forward, and you remember you passed this check. You weren't thrown to the ground. So if you would like to catch this serpent person, you can just catch them straight away. You don't need to enter face or anything like that. You were ready. So when they started to get up and run, you could have just leapt forward.
Yeah, I would like to grab them and you know, kind of like that panicky shaking them, like, what's going on? Like, what have you done?
Okay, fantastic. Considering you have your allies all around you, as the three of you collect around this serpent person, I would like you all to make a fighting brawl check.
Have we got Taza with us as well? Has he come in?
Taza has headed on, but Taza is looking confused at everything, and then has started to run after you, desperate to help in whatever way he can.
Fantastic. So we're all brawling?
Am I doing it? Because...
Yeah, you could certainly help. I'm not terribly good at it.
I'd love to.
Okay, fantastic. So you're sort of just standing by, but Mac, you dive in, fighting brawl check?
Yeah, as I look for it in my sheet, there it is.
Good cop. I was the good cop. Wait, where's Mac?
It's like a single point of luck.
No, that is okay. I think you are perfectly fine with just a single success. So the two of you grab a hold of this serpent person and bundle them to the ground. Blanca, you are immediately in their face. What are you yelling?
Sorry. Just like, because we've seen the explosion go off and we've heard all the rumble. Just kind of just like, what have you done? What is this?
The explosion has triggered. Our kin are still inside. The chosen of Yig must be protected. Let me go. Let me go meet.
Who is the chosen of Yig?
The devourer of all your kind. Let me go.
And you shove them back down.
Can I shoot it?
Absolutely. All right. You lean forward, and Blanca and Mac, you can both see. You've got this is now the third time that Doc has leant forward with a pistol to shoot a serpent person. So you can kind of guess that this is going to happen. If either of you would like to say, "Hang on a minute, don't," or take.
Yeah, I think I might just show restraint. And what do you do? Oh! I just whacked something on my desk.
Oh no!
One of the cats goes.
Tearing off the back.
But my immersion, no, you whacked the duck's gun out of their hands, right?
Method acting. We need them. They might lead us to this Yig.
I really don't think leaving any of them extra alive is going to help us.
This one still appears to be Maria Romero.
It does, but getting this close and beginning to sort of wrestle,
we know it's not
you can
actually.
begin to see that there are also this serpent person introduced themselves
They did, didn't they?
As Arketh, one of many Arkeths. I think
yeah, that's right.
One Arketh, the other one.
Oh, well, you know, you're not the only Joseph in the world, so presumably it's a similar principle. They can't all have individual, you know, noises to be there.
Yeah, but I'm the only Joseph in my line of siblings.
That is true.
And I have a few of them.
They do things a little differently.
Exactly. You know,
they-
the ways of the serpent people.
Maybe they
very
become middle names.
Exactly. Anyway, continuing on. So, upon hearing a chance to possibly get themselves out of this situation, Arketh is going to lean forward and say,
Yes, I will lead you. I will lead you to the chosen of Yig. Let me up. We must hurry there together.
No good. It's no good to us dead. At least it can show us to where the prisoners are and we can get them out.
Mac, do you carry handcuffs as a marshal? Is that a thing you do?
I have said in the past that I do. I don't know if that's historically accurate.
You absolutely can have some cuts with you.
Outstanding.
Awesome.
Does the snake have hands?
Yes, this snake has hands.
Oh, good.
Find them behind its back, and it hisses and chomps, and then says,
Hurry, hurry. We must reach the inner sanctum.
Well, all right, you're going to show us if you can stop whatever's happening up there, and if not, you're going to show us to release the prisoners you got.
I will.
And the snake begins to tear forward, leading the collection of you down towards the entrance. Dakea follows after. Dakea kind of looking from one of you to the other, saying, "Do I just follow along?"
Yeah, you just keep one hand on your weapon there.
Dakea keeps his rifle in his hand and follows you as you head inside the cave and deeper into the mountain. Upstairs, the two of you have started to run along, and you are tearing forward. Your masks are covering your faces, and you're trying as best you can to not breathe in the toxic, hideous air. You are at the entryway now to this large chamber, and you can see a set of stairs that lead deeper, down into more sort of tighter tunnels, similar to the ones that you remember from the previous lair of the serpent people. As you're running, everything is continuing to shake. I have a question for the two of you. Are you just boldly sprinting forward, throwing caution to the wind and trying to get deeper inside, or are you moving carefully? Are you moving quietly? What's the go here?
I mean, we gotta be quiet. They're gonna outnumber us in here.
I think in the past we have moved carefully and quietly, and it's not done us wrong. I think carefully.
And I only got like 6 bullets, so you know. Mum's the word.
Luckily, I've only got 1 axe.
Okay, so I'd like the both of you to make for me a stealth check.
Yep, saw that coming. We're all right at stealth.
Yeah, it's stealth. We got no points. God damn it.
Okay, well, look, with a hard success, that's okay. You know, you can.
I can cover him. He's about to step on like a big twig or something. I just go, ah!
Why is there a twig down here?
Blew in through the top.
Once again, yelling at me. Anyway, continuing on. So you are able to cover. You're able to stop Grease from making too much noise. But now, Grease, I would like you to make a spot hidden check.
Okay. Is this just me assessing? Eyes on prize.
This is you. I don't want to give too much away.
Okay,
Just make a spot hidden check.
I suspect it's you spotting something hidden.
I've failed. So...
You failed. Okay, good to know. We're going to jump away from the two of you for a second.
Cool. That's what we love hearing.
Hurrying down, staying quiet, but moving along. And downstairs, the three of you follow in after the serpent person, who is sort of continuing to chitter and snarl and hiss, leads you into the tunnels, then starts taking quick lefts, quick rights. Do any of you have light on you or any kind of torch?
Can't think of anything that I've got.
I got a cigarette lighter.
Would you like to take out your cigarette lighter?
Yeah. Well, how are the noxious fumes down here? What are they like?
How flammable is this environment?
They're not too bad yet. They're not too bad. You can't really smell anything.
I feel like you should ask the doctor.
We have made makeshift torches before with like some of my equipment, like, you know, highly flammable anesthetics. There you go, words. Oof. And like bandages and shit. So
yeah, do you have like ethanol to like?
Do I have anesthetic, which is 2 compounds which are highly flammable, and alcohol.
Okay. Yeah, that's what. Okay, rad.
Yes.
Let's make some doctor torches.
Have a bit of that then.
Yeah. So can make a torch if necessary.
Absolutely. So you start fumbling together and shedding some kind of light on the situation as the snake continues to hurry forward, going this way, quick, motioning for you to head along a section of these dark tunnels as they twist and turn ever deeper. Now, Joseph, you are otherwise occupied. You are currently making torches, which means I'm going to ask whichever of the 2 remaining investigators has the highest psychology score to make for me a hard psychology check.
65?
65? Okay.
Mine's 30.
Pretty good.
I think the snake's up to no good.
You might.
You're gonna
Or
make
you might
me.
think the snake is just trying to help you.
Oh, how's that?
Would you like
Don't
4
trust-
points for an extreme?
Don't trust snakes,
No, that's okay. You can get away with a hard.
especially shape-shifting
It's like
snakes.
the first rule in the Bible.
That's some,
We learned this
some
day
Wild
one,
West
people.
wisdom.
Day
Yeah.
1.
Any snake offers you an apple, do not trust
No.
that snake.
No.
Yeah,
Or your
if
mom.
they offer you an android, it's a different situation. But sorry, that was really bad. Continuing on. These snakes knew that you were coming. The surveillance devices that you activated inside Santa Rosita have given away your position. And they have been preparing for you to arrive. And how do they prepare? Well, they do the same thing that they did last time. They lay traps. As you're walking forward, This occurs to you, Marshall, and you can see the snake is trying to kind of lead you down a passageway and stops and kind of goes this way, motioning for you to go ahead of them. And you spot on the ground just ahead a couple of those crystals embedded in the ground. What's your reaction?
I'll say, all right then, and just keep walking, but poke him in the back to make him go first.
All right.
Or her, or they, rather. Sorry.
Exactly. Well, the snake hesitates and then kind of steps carefully over the mines and says, "Watch the ground, careful," as if they had been doing that all along. And you can see their tongue darts out for a second and sort of licks along the side of their face, catching a bit of dirt as they hurry forward. And the rest of you were able to do that as well, avoiding the explosion and getting deeper and deeper inside. Meanwhile, as you are all coming down from the chamber at the center of the volcano, you're creeping along, but sadly, with a failed spot hidden, you are going to step on one of these.
Jerry,
Grease, you're at the front. You step forward and you feel something crunch underfoot and you think, oh God, not again. Just immediately this terrible thought rushing into your head. Across the other side, Griff, you were standing a little further back. So as you're there, you're able to kind of just put your arms back and you won't be affected by this at all. Or you could try and dive forward and tackle Grease and shield the both of you.
Or just take the brunt of the blow.
Griff will definitely take option 2.
Okay.
Even if it
hero.
involves him, as Grease said, taking the brunt of the blow.
All
What a
right.
champion.
What a champion.
So make for me here. You can make a hard strength check or a fighting brawl check to sort of.
I would like to make a hard strength check, please.
Yeah. This is just you barreling forwards, knocking Grease flying and getting.
Now, according to my Pulp Cthulhu Pulp talent, I get an extra bonus dice on this one.
Or to, I think, reduce the difficulty. Oh, no, that's the other one, isn't
this
it?
one,
Different
it's
ones.
only written that I get a point of...
a hard success.
That's pretty good.
Now, to borrow a phrase from Jackson, that might look like a 35, but it's actually...
Oh, it actually worked! The curse is broken.
Jackson, it's not that hard, mate. I don't know what your problem is.
I have much to learn from you, it seems.
You were at one end of the hallway, Grease, and now you're at the other end of the hallway, and Griff is on top of you, and everything's shaking, and there's explosive dust, but you feel perfectly fine. And Griff, you hit with such force that you were able to both escape from the explosion. Around a couple of corners, down below, the collection of you three, following after the serpent person, hear an explosion. You can tell that there's movement or activity, or the others at least somewhat close, somewhat nearby. The snake that you're following looks left, looks right, and then gestures down and says,
This way towards the Chosen.
and tries to lead you down a separate passageway. It is away from your companions.
They'll be fine.
Okay. You're shaking your head, Doc.
Is it still taking us into the mountain, or is it skirting around at this point?
You can make a navigate check to try and figure out, but you have been darting and turning and twisting into the black, and you really can't tell at this stage.
I will attempt a navigate if there is no penalty for failing the navigate outside of being like, I don't fucking know where I am.
Just a straight failure, there will be no penalty.
Okay. What have I got to lose? I say that knowing now I'm going to get a critical failure. Ooh, my navigate is 10.
Okay,
Feeling
good
good
luck.
about this. I'm feeling good.
You just have no idea.
Oh.
I'm with
Luckable.
Mac.
Sorry?
If there is to be a tiebreaker, I'm fine with following the snake.
You
Okay.
got 2 of them together.
I'll be fine.
All right.
Griff is a responsible adult,
Just don't.
and Grease, while he is an idiot child,
What?
he has some intuition. They'll be fine.
I would like it. No, I don't like this, but alright.
If we need them, we'll just holler, and if we know they're nearby, they might hear us.
It ain't the not going to them I don't like, but all right.
Okay, fantastic. So, I'm just setting up our next scene, which needs a little bit of preparation.
Is that because we split up?
No, maybe just a little.
He didn't count on some of the party abandoning the rest to a
Other
lizard
members of the
dungeon.
party.
He's just loading up.
Especially when we had such a great plan. We had such a good plan at the beginning.
He's drawing
and
New
we stuck to
Mexico
the plan.
back on the map.
Was it a good
The
plan?
weird shape, it's surprisingly difficult to add, and it removes. So really the whole Southwest just comes off the map so easily.
Hey, Grace, I got a weird feeling that it's going to be us fending for ourselves for a while.
No, they're going to come for us. We had a deal. Mac wouldn't leave me down here.
Did we have a deal?
I would
Was
like
there a
it not,
contract?
because I think this is important, that I have not put my gun away.
Okay, so you're still armed. As
Me
the collection-
either.
Yeah, but the doc usually has to pull a gun out in a firefight. If we're getting into a firefight, I just want it known that for the first fucking time ever, Joseph actually has his gun.
Open carry.
Not that he can use it, but it's there.
Okay, Joseph, so you're armed and you're heading down. You're following after Blanca, who is enthusiastically at the front, gun at the ready to put an end to all of this, and Mac, who walks along with this same cold, calculating casualness. Upstairs, your friends are moving around. They are desperate. And I want to ask you as a player, Art, there's two little scenes here that are going to happen next. One is the more scientifically minded scene, and the other one is the more action-packed scene. Which would you like to see first?
See first.
Yes.
I mean, you always want quiet before the storm, right?
Right. Okay. So let's jump to the scene where science, intelligence, and wit will be all important. So Grease and Griff, two of you are tearing forward and you burst into another room, and immediately you find yourself in the laboratory of the Serpent People. You are, can everybody see this?
It is loaded in, yep.
Okay, perfect. So let me just get rid of some of those drawings because those are no longer relevant. They are from the last time we were inside one of these places. But what's interesting is that there is a certain amount of standardized.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks very similar because we've been here before.
It's one of those
Exactly.
kit homes they build these
Yeah.
days. Everything's built from the same plans. There's no real heart to a lot of it.
Snakes aren't known for their create.
Exactly. There are strange accoutrements covering the walls of this strange little cave area. It's all silver and odd piping sticking out of rock, and it is boiling hot in here. You can see all kinds of odd contraption littering the room, as well as several of these balloons and chemical stations full of bubbling, smoking little vials, diffusing these vile concoctions into the air around you. Ahead of you, bustling through the area, moving from one set of equipment to the other, is a rather small serpent person with scars across their face who looks up, sees the collection of you approach, and kind of hisses and leans back and covers their face and starts wailing at you in Narcal.
Oh, okay. You speak English, sir?
Don't shoot! Don't shoot me! Stopping it! I'm stopping it!
What are you doing?
Fixing the explosion! You ruined everything!
It hisses at you, howling in anger.
I look at Grace. Like we ruined everything. That's good news.
What do we ruin? I mean, we don't know exactly what y'all are doing here. We saw a lot of balloons or something, and it seems... Are you the progenitor of some of these earthquakes? Is that what these vials are for?
Volcano will erupt and spread the poison across the land, but you have destroyed the poison. Now it will only collapse inwards and do not smile, meat. All of your kind will still die for 100 miles around.
How do we stop that?
The snake sort of realizes it's been monologuing a little bit and kind of goes quiet and just sort of stops and starts having eyes darting around.
I step forward up to the table and I'm like sticking my finger in like some of the vials, just tipping them over so I could see what's in. give one
Stop
a sniff.
touching those! Stop it!
Well, why are you even trying to do all of this? Why are you? I mean, can't we coexist or something? Can't you just stay down in your holes and such, and we can, wander up and around there and have all the air and grass and greenery and such? What?
The snake
What's your
hisses at
deal?
you.
You walk the surface is ours. We carved it from the rock. We fought for 1,000,000 years to keep it from the adversaries of this world. Stop touching that. Stop it.
So it starts like slapping in your hands. Then hesitates for a second and says,
Touch that one.
and points at you, foully bubbling.
I'm going for it when Griff slaps the hand away. Right. So y'all are saying you got an older claim on this land than we do. It's like when prospectors turn up, first in, best dressed.
Your ways are unfamiliar to me. But this is our land and we will take it back.
Y'all ain't making a strong case for us not shooting you. I'm just gonna say it.
The snake kind of licks its lips for a second, looks to the side and says,
I have one argument.
and points towards a set of vials.
I will show you.
All right, make it a good one.
Okay.
Can I make a psychology test on him, noting that my psychology is pretty piss poor?
Absolutely. Make a psychology test.
But you know what? There's always
a chance.
No, there isn't. There is no chance.
Okay. Yeah, the snake, I mean, it's hard to really read what a snake is
I can't
saying.
read people. I don't think I'm going to be able to read a snake.
Yes, unfortunately, you're not really sure. The snake is gesturing towards those vials, though.
What do you think, Grease? We trust him?
No, we don't
All right.
trust him.
Well, then stay away from those vials, matey.
Yeah, you're coming with us. We're taking you to find our friends. In fact, they'll be getting pretty close by now, given they've gotten the signal, and will be running towards us. So, go on, stick your claws up.
If you head deeper, if you bring me deeper, the mountain will collapse and crush us all.
You're making a lot of sense there, Grace.
Everything is still shaking around you.
Yeah.
Just occasionally
I mean, Jimmy, we ain't got a choice, Griff. We gotta find the others. This is, all or nothing. Go on, stick your claws up. We're going deeper. If we're dying, so are you, you snaky son of a bitch. And then
Okay.
we'll mosey on. And I will. Are the vials pocketable? The ones that he was pointing at?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll chuck a stopper in them and pop them in the old pockies.
Okay, make for me a chemistry test to not activate them by accident.
Uh-oh.
Did I say I was gonna grab them? That's funny because I meant what I was gonna say is best leave that for the doctor. Where's
Okay,
chemistry?
You know what? You
Can I make it?
You
Damn! I was gonna argue gambling and if I get a
I
good
was
one.
I was gonna say sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Oh, can I do sleight of hand? Is it just not activating them? I'm very careful,
yeah, You have
James.
to be incredibly delicate. Look,
Hard success?
I will accept a hard sleight of hand.
You will get a hard sleight of hand.
Okay.
Huh. Ah,
No, you
very
won't.
good.
Not even a non-hard sleight of hand.
Okay.
All right, well,
Got
we have
41 points
activated.
of luck.
I do. I'm not.
Or you could push it. As you go to grab it, you start to fumble it. You realize it's going to spill all over you. If you'd like, instead, you can throw it forward. But if you fail, you're accidentally going to hit Griff with it. It's going to splash all over him.
I'm confident.
I'm not
I
saying
feel
anything.
good. I feel good.
Yeah, I'm glad you feel good.
I feel
Getting
good.
it hard.
I boggle it a little bit. I go for the grab.
No,
Oh,
you did
fuck,
that
it's
thing where-
worse.
Okay. You know
I'm
what?
dead. I'm
or
dying.
you're invincible. You're dead
Or
or
I'm
you're
turning into a
invincible.
snake person. I have an inkling.
Now, Jackson, I would like you to describe in the most comical way. Can you describe the way that that Grease fumbles this and sends it flying into Griff's face?
Aw.
It's like it just kind of he squeezes it too hard and it slips out of his hands, and he grabs it and it slips up again. It's like got this condensation on the front, so he actually like squeezes it up and up and up, and it goes flying through the air.
Flying through the air, and suddenly you were covered with a burning, hideous pain that spreads across your face. Actually, it doesn't feel that bad
I'm
at
so
all.
sorry.
And you see a shimmering shield, the same armor that was applied to you, when you were previously inside the serpent person lair apply now to Griff, as he is covered with a shimmering silver shield. It appeared that this serpent person was just going for a weapon when they were gesturing at the vials, or going for something that was going to keep them safe from you.
Nice.
Nice try.
Yeah,
The
nice
serpent
try.
The serpent person next to you goes, "Nah," and dives at Grease,
Oh shit.
jumping at him.
I shoot him in the face.
Okay, perfect. All right, now, Bo, you have your gun readied always, because that is how it works for you as a gunslinger. And Griff, you have your axe not ready. So what is your dexterity, Griff?
I actually think I was miming that I had my gun out the whole time. So I think I actually have my gun
in
out,
which case you will
which
have
is actually less useful.
Okay, what's your dexterity plus 50?
85.
Okay, and so that means that you will go first, Griff. Then you'll go first, Grease. Then you will go Griff, and then if both of you miss, the serpent person will try.
get
and
eviscerated.
eviscerate you.
Let's have it
Okay.
a go.
I shoot him in the face. I fan the hammer and fire 3 times.
Okay,
If that's okay, Jim.
absolutely.
Oh no, actually, I only have 6 bullets. Let's do 1.
Oh, do you
Let's
only
do
have
1.
6 bullets like around? Not in the gun, like in general.
Yeah.
What?
I don't got no
'Cause
pockets, and
that's
I
all-
got like $3. I'm telling you, I got 6 bullets. They're expensive.
You meant to say, because that's all I need.
That
yeah.
would have been way cooler. No, I need more. There's a lot of lizards. And I miss sometimes. All right, I shoot. Point blank, Jim, would I get a bonus die?
Look,
I would adore a bonus die, James. I would just...
You are going to get a bonus die here, I think. You are going to get a bonus die.
Fantastic.
Would you kill for a bonus die?
I'm about to. Ciao.
Ooh.
You can have 5 points of luck.
Can we luck in combat? Yeah, we can.
8.
Actually,
Combat.
Can't push in combat.
yeah, you're right.
Can't push in combat.
Can't push.
I mix push and luck.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. This is enough. I deal. I should have used the gun one. Sorry, hang on. I gotta roll my damage
Yeah,
separately.
I always forget as well.
12 points of damage. Hey, that's
12
pretty close to
points of
max.
damage.
Oh, he can if he wants to dive for cover and lose his turn.
Yeah, I suppose that. Well, no, he didn't.
He's probably
because
close
he was
enough to riposte,
trying to get to you to just tear you apart, and unfortunately, 12 is going to be enough. You shoot this small serpent person, and its snout explodes and it collapses to the ground, twitching for a couple of seconds before spraying blood everywhere and going still. You've taken care of it.
Why do you have to try and rush us?
Downstairs, the collection of you are heading further and further into the mountain, twisting down these passageways until at last the heat starts to get really hot and thick in the air and almost completely unbearable. As you're walking along, the snake who is leading you starts to laugh. It's a weird laugh. It's more of a kind of hideous giggle. Blanca, can you give me your best impression of a snake giggle? I can't really think what that would be.
It's the same laugh I always do when I'm making fun of someone. Maybe it's like he
Take that.
hiss.
He
Ooh.
He hiss.
Okay,
That's
very clever.
nice.
Everyone
right.
should have laughed at that. What's wrong with you people?
You will behold the chosen of Yig, and it will take you all. It will turn you into something better meat.
Can I shoot it yet?
Oh, just
I
here.
mean,
I wasn't asking you to.
you don't have to ask permission.
You can just
do
shoot
it.
at any point, but it is with the knowledge that Blanca and Mac have asked you not to.
Wait, I didn't ask so much as
Man.
slap.
Yes.
Doc has gone through
If-
some
if-
shit.
If you can outmaneuver me, then sure.
Okay, so you're keeping an eye. You're actually sort of close enough to the serpent person that Doc is not going to be able to fire a shot.
I just want this serpent person to lead us to the other
They're
serpent
not-
people, and then
They
we
ain't
can
gonna
shoot them
lead
all.
us places. They're leading us to our doom. We should kill it and we should go back for the others. This ain't safe and I don't trust it.
I think we need to be stopping whatever that's been put in motion.
I don't know,
Yeah,
Mac. I
don't-
feel like the doctor has a good point.
I don't think this is where we're going. I think it's taking us to see whatever this Yig is, and I don't want to see it.
I turn to the snake person and I say, I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, I don't like you. I'm still gonna kiss.
Where's Maria?
Below, in the cages.
Where is that? Are you taking us there? Or are you taking us somewhere else?
I am taking you to see the Chosen of Yig, but the cages are in the same direction.
What if we don't want to see the Chosen of Yig? You take us to the cages without seeing your overlord or whatever the hell this is?
The paths converge. The Chosen of Yig is a guardian. You cannot bypass the guardian.
Is the Chosen of Yig one of us or one of your people?
It's just ahead. You can see for yourself.
And you start to approach a larger opening to a bigger chamber. The heat now has gotten really, really hot. And you can smell just this indescribable, horrific, otherworldly scent coming through. Daniel, do you want to make up a terrifying smell that you think the Chosen of Yig would smell like?
Yeah, it's like a rotting smell, like that sort of like if you turn over a log underneath it, it comes up this like earthy rottingness that is like
a nice
fungus
smell.
destroying. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. Maybe
People
you like
that
it.
smell, Daniel.
That's fine. I think that's just what I'm
Oh,
like
it's
a homebody I am.
pleasantly
I'm like, ugh, the wild. Ugh.
Gardening.
Ah.
If
Smells like fresh grass and
And lollipops and ice cream. Ew.
it's the heavy smell of rotting flesh and decay and those pungent chemicals that accompany it. The snake kind of steps to the side and almost gives you like a mock bow leading through.
Me first?
very well.
And it turns
What can we see through? Sorry, like what can we see beyond?
Just the entryway. You'll have to actually come around a corner and step inside if you want to see this cavern, this like next area, this cavern.
Yeah, that thing's going first, but I'm not letting it out of my sight.
Well, it goes and it starts to run into the cavern. So it says me first very well, and then it turns and it starts to run into the cavern. So
All right, well, go after it.
All right, the three of you chase after it, and suddenly you burst forward into this enormous, large cavern ahead of you. Now, unfortunately, this ally isn't here. And unfortunately,
Wait, hang on.
this ally isn't.
No.
Hey, stop it.
So the three of you sprint inside. Now, you are followed by Decaya, who is just behind. I'm not going to get a token for him for just a moment because it is possible that he will not be around for long.
Yikes.
As the collection of you sprint into this, as the collection of you sprint into this new area, you are overwhelmed as you see an entire room that has been devoted into a hatchery. Eggs are lining the walls, and you can see just hundreds of them in various stages of growth. And writhing through them are dozens, maybe hundreds of these tiny snakes. Some of them are larger, maybe 5 or 6, the size of these sort of doggish snakes that you have fought before. And they are all crawling around, they're hissing about, and looped around the large pillar in the middle is an enormous creature. Absolutely massive, a snake that has to be 40 feet tall with an enormous tail that stretches back, 2 enormous arms. I have a little picture here taken directly from the book.
Hey, friend.
And I have a little quote
And
taken
BX from
directly
me.
from the book. If I can just find an enormous serpent with a humanoid torso and arms. It wears no clothing, but is armed with a huge obsidian-bladed sword, which takes both of its hands to wield. You have wandered into the lair of the Chosen of Yig, and as this creature at the front spots it, it begins to yell in Narkal, and this beast turns around, hisses at you, moves forward, screeching, and I need all of you to make a sanity check for me. This thing is going to cut you in half.
And it's also a giant snake.
Yes. Welcome to Cthulhu. This is a real monster. Just seeing it
Oh,
collapse. Okay.
that's a proper crit fail
I
too.
passed though. Nothing phases me.
It's not. It's 100.
This is a therapy
Okay.
Oh, is
adventure
it?
for me.
Okay. This
Is it still a failure?
Yeah, it is a failure, but it's not a fumble.
It's not
It's
a
not a
failure.
fumble.
It's not a crit failure.
Why are we
We
here?
want
It's not a
fumble.
fumble.
Is it
I want
not?
to see tears.
No, I
thought-
think
for
for
sanity
for
is-
sanity,
Because it's that high.
I guess
It's above
It's also
50
'cause-
means it's 100 is your
I thought
fumble
above
range.
50 was
it's only
99 and 100.
No,
That's
it's 100. Homebrew.
That's a
Listen,
that's a home table
fumbling
rule.
on this would be a lot of sanity, so it's pretty great that you haven't. With
I
a
want a lot of
standard
sanity.
fail,
Just permanently
Oh,
lose
dear.
Joseph.
standard fail, you're going to lose 2d4 plus 2.
Okay.
Okay. And if,
What's just
Uh,
just heads up? What's your max for the day? Is it 14? Is that right? Yeah.
and also just remember if it's 5 or over, and you got the
Yep.
rest. You
Yeah, I
got
was
the
gonna say, isn't it 5?
Oh
5 in one
yeah.
go? Ooh, good luck. Stop.
Jackson.
No, it's a snake. It's not mammalian.
That's not what the cover art says.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, isn't it?
I did double check the pulp rules,
Yep.
so you might
Oh,
be
yeah.
getting a fair amount of luck from me to make this go away.
Please.
Oh.
Yeah, they shared it earlier. Ooh.
7.
You can have 14 points of luck, and I'll take half of that.
Okay.
Nice,
14
nice.
Oh, that's
nice,
it.
nice,
Yeah.
Good use. All right. Now the rest of you are only going to take 1d4 plus 1.
Aw.
What?
So
Oh,
you
there's still a
guys should
chance.
also still take it.
Come on.
Come on, show me. No, we can't be chanting for it. Okay, good.
Okay,
Everything's
we're
under.
all right. We're all
Everything's
right.
under.
We're all right. We're
All
all right.
of you witness this creature begin to charge forward, and immediately you feel terror rush through you, but you are able to hang on to your sanity for the time being as you ready yourselves for combat. One last time as we have a grand battle with the very building collapsing around you. I want everyone to remind me of your dexterity. Mac, what is yours?
Ready weapon count?
Yep.
Normal 85, so 135.
All right. Blanca, what is yours?
I guess I'd also have the readied weapon.
Yep.
110.
110. Okay. And Doc, yours is 40, right?
Dexterity?
Yes.
No, mine is 60. Also,
readied weapon,
round
okay.
up or down.
You are going to want to round against your favor, is my general rule for Cthulhu.
Cool.
So
So,
whatever is worse.
Cthulhu just says, "What's worse for the players?"
What would be funny?
Yeah. what
like,
would a cruel
'cause
person do?
half of 7 is 3.5. So am I
So
taking
it's
3
4.
round?
I think you're
Round
taking
up.
4.
4. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So worse for me. Okay.
Yeah, worse.
Exactly.
It's that's yeah.
If you had your gun out, doesn't that get you a dex of 90?
You will with
Shooting, I think. Which I'm not, by the way. Bye.
okay. All right.
I'm
So
out.
in which case we are going to jump in and let me just confirm the dexterity for this creature. Oh, it's pretty quick. And the beasts.
Quicker than a gun?
And very quickly, all of a sudden, these creatures are going to appear in front of you.
No.
Good luck. As the two of you upstairs continue to head further down, now leaving the corpse behind you, are you going to touch anything in the laboratory before you go, apart from the thing that you already grabbed and gave one of you armor?
Oh, I wanted to do a quick No, I'm literally looking around and going, "There's no way I understand any of this, right? I need to find Doc." Is what's in my mind.
You can make a
Chemistry
I guess
test.
the best thing here would be a
Pharmaceutical. Sorry, a
library use check.
All right, we gotta find Doc.
Okay, so the two of you are going to
I
run
ain't
down,
doing that.
hoping to find Doc. Meanwhile, downstairs, the first person to act in this battle is going to be Mac. What would you like to do?
Should we run?
Show him your badge.
Well,
Trying to hang
I
up.
have to ask, does it have hostile intent?
Swinging at you wildly, this giant obsidian blade is heading straight for your face, and your heart is thumping, your mind is melting as you see it. I mean, debatably, I don't know. What really is hostile intent? Because in its mind, you are just meat, so really it's helping you by killing you.
It's a butcher. One other question, Chief. Can we see the caged people? Are they visible down here, or are they not?
No, they are not here.
I think they're
Fucking
not
lied
in,
to
this,
us.
In another
I think they're
room or
somewhere.
something.
Yeah, he said it was on the way. It was in the same direction.
He was lying
Yeah,
because
that.
he's a snake,
Yeah,
and
that.
they
They
famously
wouldn't
do
do
that.
that. No.
Mm.
All right, let me get. Is there another obvious direction that we can go in?
There is a pathway that leads further down on the other side of the room past the clutch of eggs.
Well, I'm going to trust that's the way to the cages. I'm going to crack off a shot.
Yep.
And hopefully towards its eye as I'm running for that path.
Okay, so specifically, just to be aware, that path is over here. Heading further down.
Over where? I didn't see
Where's
it.
over
I didn't
here?
see it.
I am sketching it now. I may be drawing it on the wrong layer. Yes, I am. Thank you. Never
You
mind.
can ping as well
See
just by
nothing.
holding. Is it there?
Yes, it is over here.
Okay,
so that's
but
where you
it's-
need.
Directly through all of them.
Exactly. They are guards, so they are going to watch it relatively well. So you crack off a shot. I think, Mac, you want to head round on this side, or you want to head round on this side?
Well, I was kind of hoping it was the path to the top right, so it looks like going down is the better way.
Okay, so you're going to head down this way.
Yes. Unless that's a trick question.
In which case, no.
I don't know. I don't like any of my options at this point.
I was gonna say I don't think you have a correct decision to make here, Mac. I think both of these look bad.
All right, but either way, it comes with a side of rifle.
Okay,
Let's
so
just-
make me your firearm check. I'm also
Ooh.
going to roll 1d100. Oh, 36 for Decayer. Decayer is not going to lose his mind just yet.
Good for him.
Although we are going to roll.
D4 plus 1. Oh, he's still with us. He's hanging
Well,
on.
1d4 plus 1, 5 in
Oh.
a single
Oh.
hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
All right, so we are going to
I'm
get back to that in a
so
second.
sorry.
Meanwhile, Mac, you are tearing forward. You're running down. I reckon you can get to about here. If you're going to be sprinting, maybe here. You've cracked off your shot and you've come in
have.
with a hard success. What are
Would
you
you
aiming
give-
at?
Can I
specifically?
give you 3 points of luck for an extreme?
Absolutely, you can.
Then that is what I shall do, sir.
Okay. And you are aiming for the large creature, I'm presuming? Or are you aiming
Yeah, just straight through the eye, if I may.
Okay. You crack off a near perfect shot, slamming straight into the thing's head. Your damage is going to be, so you deal 13 damage by default, and then you are going to deal an additional max weapon damage, are you not? What's your final damage going to be?
Let me take a look. See. Yeah, no, I don't have a note for that.
You
So my
rolled
regular
max,
damage is
you
2d6
rolled
plus
max
1.
damage as well.
I did. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So I think it's 26.
Ouch.
26 damage. Okay.
Standing.
Wow.
Mac's
All
pretty
right.
good at guns.
So
That's
you,
not bad.
you
Turns
fire,
out, being a marshal, I guess you have to use guns. a
Yeah.
fair amount. Who would have guessed?
you fire a brutal shot which slams into this creature and it shrieks out in pain, hissing. The serpent person who led you in sees it gets wounded and shrieks, "No! No!" as seeing its the chosen be hurt. But this creature is powerful. It is strong. And while your shot hits it and hurts it, and this isn't a kind of bullets don't do damage thing. This hits it. This hurts it. It's got a lot of health. It howls at you, screeching furiously, and continues to slither forward, rushing towards you at top speed. Blanca, you want to give me a turn?
I am going to also run towards the exit.
Okay.
I am not going to fire off a shot because I don't want to draw any attention to myself. I am
Yes.
hoping that the large snake will only take notice of Mac. But if anything gets in my way, I wouldn't mind hitting it really hard with the butt of my gun.
All right. I'll give you a choice. You can get a really good smack in against this serpent person that led you into death, or you can get a little bit further, so you'll end your turn there in that case, or you can get to about here. If you don't make any action and you just tear.
I'm not seeing anything on my screen. If you're
Oh,
pinging
my
me.
mistake. I'm sorry. I keep changing things. You can get to here and have a crack at the serpent person, or you can get over to about here, is what I would say.
I think if I'm not going to be obstructed, I would like to go further.
Okay. So you begin to sprint forward, tearing across, arriving all the way about here as you sprint through. Now, Doc, it's not quite your turn yet, but I want to know what your intention is. What are you beginning to move to do?
Okay, so player versus character is having a moment.
Uh-oh.
Walk us through it.
Player is like, fuck this noise, I'm out. Like,
Yep.
all did a dumb, we trusted a snake, gonna go find the others, I'm done with this shit. Character has just watched two people that are sort of on their side go legging it into a cavern and is just like, ah! Has Mac moved at all?
Yeah, I'm heading toward the.
You don't
toward
look
the
like
further
you've
down.
moved on the map at
You
all.
can probably get to about here, Mac, if you want to head.
Oh, I forgot to move myself. Thank you very much.
Pincer maneuver. I can't beat that.
Got the pincer maneuver, and then the hammer and anvil are going to come in. Where the hammer and anvil?
It's a little bit
Are
of
we?
decision. There is a big monster here, and it would very much like to cut you apart with this giant obsidian blade.
I think because I did fail my sanity roll, even
Yep.
though I managed to like lock down the effect,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take one of Lovecraftian's 3 favorites: faint, fight, or flee. I'm going to turn around to Decayer and be like, "Run!" and I'm going to turn bolt.
Okay.
Hell
You-
yes.
I'm going to go try and find the others.
I was going to
Okay.
say, you're going for help.
Yeah, I'm out because I am not good at this.
You spin around, you yell, run straight to Decayer, and Decayer is looking 1,000 yards past you with terror in his eyes. And as you go to sprint past, he puts out a hand to stop you. Make a fighting brawl check.
Can I shoot him?
You absolutely can shoot him.
Yikes!
Oh
And I
no!
will,
So make a firearms test instead.
at this point, it is reactionary, and if someone is doing something stupid, I've got a gun. I don't. It's
Yeah.
either that
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a
yeah.
torch to
This-
the face. Also,
Doc's building up a kill count.
I don't want to be. Oh no. I don't want this to succeed, but I do.
Decay is
Decayer moves out his arm, and the gun spins round, it fires, and it hits him in the chest. Roll your damage, please.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do the thing with the stuff. I'll roll the actual weapon now.
No worries.
and just take the damage from it. Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Six.
The
Ooh,
shot
it's not
hits
too much damage.
Decayer, kind of grunts and staggers backwards and starts looking down,
If-
looking at this blossoming red.
If I have a hard success, is it possible that I hit him in the shoulder or the hand or the arm instead of dead center?
Sure. You haven't killed him with 6 damage, but you've injured him. So he staggers backwards, and his eyes are wide, and there is blood just dripping down his body. You've fired, and you've got him out of the way, and you turn and run.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the others.
You turn and you sprint off, and the last thing you hear is you can hear him kind of fumbling and start to breathe heavy, and he goes, "I need a doctor."
Yep.
All right. You
Probably
keep
shouldn't
running.
have tried to stop.
All right. So you ignore the cry.
This hurts, but it's like I think I am going to do less harm by getting the others
Mm-hmm.
and remaining and trying to like this will help, I hope. I don't know. I'm not really in my right mind.
It is interesting. It is interesting reasoning, and I think that it is entirely valid for Doc to come to these conclusions, and possibly for anyone to come to these conclusions. You've got Decayer out of the way, who was almost certainly going to drag you forward and feed you to this massive snake, and you are now tearing forward to find the others. Mac, the snake is charging towards you. Blanca has slid off to the side, and suddenly you are feeling very, very alone as this creature rears up towards you and
Oh no.
shrieks at the top of its lungs and is going to swing in with a devastating strike. Now, let me just add the details to it. Renaming everything just so it is perfectly scary.
I don't like
It's called the Doc Devourer.
Back dodge. Oh, fighting skill 1.
I called it giant sword. Oh, it didn't say. Okay, no, well. Fighting skill 1 is giant sword, and have it considered as such. This huge blade arcs towards you, heading straight down and trying to cut you in twain. I'm going to need a riposte or a dodge from you.
I was always most certainly going to go for a dodge.
Okay, please, hit me with a dodge.
Hit me
I will
with your
not,
best
sir.
dodge.
Dive
less-
sideways, desperately trying to avoid this thing.
43 points in luck.
Okay. You've
Uh,
got-
yes or
no?
no?
I'm good. No,
No, yeah.
it's
You can
alright.
also save your luck with pulp. There's things like reducing
Yes.
damage and stuff.
Exactly. Which
And
Go
saving
ahead.
yourself
I'm gonna
from
go ahead and
death.
pop those rules up.
So as the blade arcs
Thanks.
down, it is going to deal 1d8
Yeah.
two,
And if,
plus 2d6.
oh.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I had a feeling this one was 50 because it dealt a bunch
I
of
mean,
damage.
giant sword.
Oh, that's max.
13,
Oh, that's 13.
14, 15. 15 total damage comes striking in straight for you, slamming down.
Oh, where'd you get the extra 2 damage from?
Because it deals 1d8 plus 2 plus 2d6.
Oh, sorry, I just missed the +2. Okay,
That'll get
sorry.
ya.
Oof.
Well, it's a good thing. According to Pop Cthulhu rules, I can bounce back and declare it's only a scratch.
Exactly.
Which means I would spend 20 luck points and then heal 1d6. Nah.
Okay.
Or you can hold it for avoid certain death.
How much do you need to
30
avoid certain death?
30 minimum,
you need
but
at
you
least
lose all
30.
of them.
30
You
minimum.
spend all
Okay.
of it,
So
yeah.
always keep 30 luck in the tank.
Just in the old pocket.
Just-
And burn the rest.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus, Louise.
Outstanding. I heal
Oh.
1 hit point back.
Oh, no.
Okay, so you are slashed horribly. Well, you described the injury. It's just happened to Mac. What occurs?
His coat was already in tatters, and this is the end of it. What's left of his coat goes flying off as his tie is sliced up, and then the slice just keeps on going, and it opens up an enormous gash in his belly. It's a bit gross.
You stagger backwards, holding onto your side, desperate to try and hold in your guts at this stage. And the creatures nearby begin to surge forward. Now, Blanca, I would like you to make for me a stealth test.
Alrighty. I will give you 11 points to succeed.
Okay, 11 points to succeed. All right, in which case the creatures are not hounding you. They are charging directly forward. They are all heading for Mac. 2 of them have arrived, but they will not get to attack this turn. The rest are charging, and the snake-like creature is howling in fervent, joy at seeing the marshal pressed against the wall, suddenly hounded and swarmed by all these creatures. Meanwhile, upstairs, the 2 of you are walking down, heading away from the laboratory. Everything is shaking around you, and dust is continuing to fall. This place is seriously looking like it's going to collapse now. You dodge past one large chunk of masonry falling from the ceiling, and all of a sudden, you hear a gunshot from further down, and a couple of seconds later, Doc comes tearing out, running towards you.
Oh, Doc, thank God.
You need to. There's a giant snake, and we need to kill it because I think it's gonna kill Mac.
All right, there's a lab full of equipment and stuff.
I'm like,
there might be a way to stop this place blowing up. And then I run.
I'm gonna go look at the lab if I think I can stop it blowing up. That seems like a good plan.
Yeah.
There was a snake guy there. He said he could get as I'm jogging the other. I'm walking backwards. There's a snake guy there. He killed him, but he said he could stop the place from blowing up. I don't know.
All right, go, but save Mac.
I'm sprinting.
All right.
I go as soon as they say Mac's in danger.
Okay, probably a pretty good idea. So as you are tearing forward, trying desperately to get to the room, you can hear howling, you can hear shrieking. Blanca, you are sliding past, you are heading down into this new room, and you can see rows of cages. And is that someone you recognize out the back? We'll find out soon, because we're going to take a short break here.
Oh
We're
no.
going to be back in 10 minutes, and we will resolve exactly what happens in this mountain. See you soon.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in the heart of a serpent person lair. In the depths, Blanca has approached a set of cages where she thinks maybe she can see Maria Romero at the back, the target that she's been hunting for so long. Inside the middle of the cavern just above, Mac is cornered against a wave of approaching mutated serpent creatures and a giant monster, while meanwhile, Griff and Grease are tearing forward to assist, and oh God, I stumbled over those words. And Doc is sprinting backwards to try and find a laboratory and stop the volcano, the mountain from collapsing around and burying everybody inside alive. It's time to jump back in. So the first thing that's going to happen is as follows. I'm going to loop the 2 of you into the order of dexterity, and I know exactly how that works, fortunately. Grease, you are going to be going right after Mac. And Griff, you're going to be going right at the end.
Yep, that makes sense.
Has that lizard moved? Did it run forward and use its
Yes,
sword?
it did. It tore forward and swung with its sword. So it is now over here.
Good.
Now, the first thing that happens is this. You are sprinting into the room, Grease. You need to help Mac. You have to help. And suddenly you run past Coquillat. And Coquillat is lying on the ground with blood just pouring down from a wound in their shirt and looks up and says, "He shot me. The doctor shot me."
I don't stop because I can also see the kerfuffle, let's call it, going on further down. But I yell for the doc. And I just say there's someone who's been shot. So I just call for Doc. But I keep going.
Okay. You hear the calls, but you are deaf to them at this stage. I think Doc, tearing forward, focused on your business. Meanwhile, Grease, you sprint into the room. You burst forward. You see the creature. Make me a sanity check.
Here comes the cherry on the whatever. Very good. Very good. It's not a fumble. It's just very close.
Not a fumble.
Why not, David?
It is just 2d4.
Because I do not wish it to be.
You have a lot of luck. I maybe use it.
No,
I think we're gonna need it.
I need that luck for things like gambling rolls. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he's also gonna need the luck to halve the amount of sanity he's about to lose.
That's what I mean. You can't use it on a sanity roll, but you can use it to halve your sanity roll.
Alright, I'm gonna need to just to.
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
It's double the thing. So I
It's not
I
too
lose.
bad.
That's
That's
not
okay.
so that's
12.
fine. That's why I've got it. So I lose 12 luck, Jamie, and I reduce this to 3,
Okay.
which is still getting me. I'm getting warmer to the old daily.
Yep. It's getting a little closer. It's getting.
What's your daily at?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I mean, I would. That's why I asked.
12.
All right. Meanwhile, immediately behind Griff, as you are tearing forward, you stayed and stopped to talk to the doc for a second. As you keep sprinting along, trying to catch up, you hear, "Doc, somebody's been shot!" And then you come forward, you see Coquillat who's been shot. And Coquillat, this time to you, has managed to get a few words out and says, "The doctor's a snake. He shot me. He shot me."
Oh shit. This is annoying because I was expecting him to say the doc shot me and I could go liar and walk past him because Doc wouldn't shoot anyone. Even though I think I've seen him do it. But this changes things. I look at him and go, we'll have to deal with that in a second, I guess. And I aim at the big guy.
All right. Make me a sanity roll as you two charge into the room.
Oof, there's one big snake.
That's a big lizard.
Okay, extreme success.
Same shit as always.
Extreme success. You don't even take any sanity damage. You just watch this thing and you go, hell, that's a big snake, and you raise your gun, ready to.
I've seen lots of big things. I've seen a big bear. I've seen a big bison. Why's a big snake any different?
Stop listening and shoot it. Stop listening and shoot it.
This is like the first time your buffalo gun will actually be appropriate when you're shooting at.
Okay, so we are going to go back up to the top, and we are going to start with Mac. What are you doing? You are being surrounded. These tiny snake dog things are yipping at you, jumping forward, ready to rip you apart to shreds as this massive thing raises its sword and begins to turn towards your allies, thinking that the threat that you represent seems to have abated for the moment.
I'm doing my best to answer your question. But I think it seems important that I take down the big one. And that'll scatter the little ones, so I'm not above shooting it in the back.
All right, make a firearms check. You are going to have a dive advantage because this thing is huge.
That's an excellent deal, thank you.
I'll take that deal. Yeah.
Now that looks like a hard success.
Now, hold on, don't steal his line from me.
You were going to steal it first.
I was going to steal it first.
It was 23. Hard success, and I failed to roll the damage. Let me just bring that up. 2d6 plus 1. I assume I can roll damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. That's what I'll do. 10.
10 damage.
That's pretty good.
Oh, sorry, I was just confidently saying. Is it in dodging range, Jim, or whatever it's doing, riposting?
From this range, it is so massive. Yeah, it is going to. No, it's not going to dodge or riposte you, I think.
David's a snake, y'all.
He doesn't mean the lizard thing. He's just
you fire a
reading
shot
my
and you
personality.
hit this thing in the back. Now, you've really friggin' heard it. This has been 2 massive hits that have slammed into it with serious penetrating power.
Good.
This one is bringing it within a hair's breadth of death. That is how well you are doing. You have just leant against the wall, cranking shot after shot into it. It staggers forward and screams out in fury, a howl which echoes through the cavern. You can see the serpent person who has been watching it start to gaze terrified, seeing the Chosen of Yig begin to stumble, the Chosen of Yig begin to fall. I would like next to jump over to Blanca. You've run out of the room.
Mhm.
You're not sticking around. You tear down into this lower level, and
It's clearly got it handled.
Exactly. It looks just like the room you were in before where all the cages were. And as you sprint into it, you can see that this one is clearly a lot more advanced. There's been more time. And you look through, most of the cages are filled with deformed serpent creatures, maybe with a little bit of humanoid features still, that kind of writhe and snap on the ground. As you sprint forward, you think for a second that you can see Maria at the back, a shape, and something gives it away. What is the trait that gives Maria away to you? Is it hair? Is it eyes? Is it posture? Is it a scrap of clothing? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I've always been picturing her with like jet black, kind of like molten, like long hair, kind of. That's how I've been picturing her. I don't know if that's how anyone else has been picturing her, but I see that. I see that across the room, but I think the thing that like immediately sticks out to me is that she just looks really like rough and nothing like I remember.
She definitely does, but it's not just because it's a little more extreme than you might be thinking. As you step forward, desperate to engage, to see this person who stole your child from you, essentially, stole everything that you had, you take a few steps forward and the shape moves, and as light from the chamber beyond, which is lit with sort of a faint blue glow, sheds past you onto the shape that was Maria. You see a deformed mutant, a half serpent person with, and this is a gory description, so I apologize, bones that have split and pierced through skin, exposed nerves that must grate against the ground, causing extreme agony. A face that has morphed out to form a giant howling mouth down the side of the neck. And as this creature sees you, you see so little of Maria and so much more of just a scared animal. What's your immediate thought, Blanca?
I want to know if she remembers me.
You step forward and you stand in front of the cage. Did you say anything, or are you just waiting for some kind of reaction?
Yeah. Does she react? Is she like lucid in any way?
It takes a while, but her eyes, which have another membrane over them now, when she opens her eyes, a third layer kind of slides across, finally focus upon your face, and a croaky voice that is still somehow laden with charisma, the kind of voice that the cult leader voice that you would follow, says, "Blanca, you're visiting me again. Am I dreaming?"
No. This isn't a dream.
She kind of tries to get up, but it looks like she doesn't have control over her body very much anymore, and she kind of flops forward, landing.
She's definitely like in a cell, like we're separated by bars.
We're separated by bars, yeah. But you could break open the cell relatively.
I was gonna say, is there anything around that I could?
Yep. Yeah, we won't make you roll for this. Is more narrative. You go through and you lever. You find sort of a levering tool, and the bars here are a lot less sturdy than the ones in the other cave system, because the people inside are a lot less dangerous. And you manage to break open the cave and get towards.
Just one quick thing, so I can picture this place. There's other people in the same state as her.
Probably more advanced than her. She is the one with the most humanity remaining.
Right. Okay. And it's like About 10 people. Like, is it a
Yeah.
lot?
About
Yeah, okay.
about eight or nine other cages filled with test subjects.
All right.
Now I'm going to ask you to make a sanity check because this is seeing a deformed human. And as you get close and come in and the creature that was Maria starts muttering, and to the hard success, don't take any sanity damage. You're okay. You're able to manage this. The creature that is Maria says, "I can't die, Blanca. They won't let me die. Why won't they let me die?"
How did they capture you? You of all people, what are you doing here?
He sent me. He sent me. Christopher sent me. Said that there was work that needed to be done, and then I thought I could outsmart them. And she coughs, and as her mouth opens, you can see that her tongue has split into like a forked mess, but her teeth appear to have not grown properly, and they pierce through the tongue at various points. She kind of leans forward, coughing again, and looks up.
Do I recognize the name Christopher?
The only other time you have heard that is when the bartender in Stillwater carried you a message from Hank Hannaratty saying that Christopher, who was the leader of the Green-Eyed Gang,
right? Okay,
had associations with all of this mythos stuff. On the ground, Maria sort of reaches up and tries to grab at you, not hostilely, but she's trying to pull you down. Do you lean forward?
No, I'm keeping my distance. I still have my gun on me. I haven't exactly leveled it at her yet.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. No, not to you, Jamie, as in to her.
No.
What did you think you were going to achieve? I mean,
she kind of flops forward and she starts to try to crawl towards you, dragging herself across the ground, and you can see.
I'm gonna keep stepping back.
Yeah, you can see where she's sort of bumping against bits of her body that don't work, and she's saying, "We were gonna get more than money. He was gonna show us so much. He took us to places. He showed us things, horrible things and wonderful things beyond anything I'd ever seen before, and I knew I could reach them, but then they did this, and those things, they didn't leave. They came back in my sleep, in my dreams."
Those snake people or something else?
It's worse. There's so much more. Things you wouldn't believe out there. Flutes and piping noises and things in the ocean. And it won't let me die. They won't let me die, Blanca. And she reaches out and she's trying to grab onto your feet, and you just keep stepping backwards.
Okay, I now level my gun at her.
Okay.
And I just want to say, are you sorry?
All
Tell
right.
me if you're sorry.
She looks up at you. We're going to jump away for just a moment and come back to that scene in a second.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, out in the chaos, Mac, you fired off a shot and you've brought this giant lizard creature to its knees. A second later, Grease, it is your turn as you leap inside.
Pick on someone your own size. I shoot it. As I'm
Okay.
running forward, I'm running towards my
All right, make a firearms check for me.
3 shots or 1?
Just the one. I don't have enough bullets, so I probably should have mimed just the one. A hard success, James.
Good damage.
A hard success. A hard success is going to work. What's your damage on that? 11? You know, you get a really scary monster that you think is just going to wipe everything, and then your lawman and your lawman's deputy just come through and they shoot the shit out of it. All right, Grease, you've killed it. You want to describe the scene?
I think it's surely just about before he kills Mac or something. Or
I mean, yeah, if it's getting close, I think it's running forward towards Mac, who's basically obliterated the thing and brought it down to its knees. But, you know, Mac turns around to deal with the next threat, not realizing it's completely dead or whatever, and it goes for the last lunge. Like, not today, you piece of shit! And I shoot its head, and then I charge forward to stand next to Mac, and we'll face the waves together. Pew, pew,
The creature staggers backwards, falls, and the enormous obsidian sword collapses to the ground with a ringing thud, almost crushing one of the creatures to the side.
Almost.
The serpent person collapses to its knees and holds out its hands, screaming in terror and in horror at seeing the chosen being overcome by one of the humans, by one of the meats. What is this? The creatures around are staggering backwards now, and they're all sort of leaning down and prowling but refusing to act. I want to know what you're doing, Griff.
If that big thing's gone down, I'm going to shoot some of the little ones.
Little ones or the serpent person who's screaming?
Oh, sorry. So these little ones are like the little half.
These are the dog things that you almost spoke to and managed to communicate. They've all gone back and they're sort of raised up on their haunches. In fact, can you make an animal handling check for me?
I'd love to make an animal handling check for you.
Fain for it.
I've been waiting for you to tell me those words for. There we go. Or I could make an additional skill 1 and fail.
Okay.
Sorry, no, I don't. I don't.
Okay, unfortunately, you don't recognize the behavior. They're just up on their haunches. They're sort of snarling and hissing.
All right, I would like to. In that case, I will, when it is my turn, shoot the snake person.
The snake person is now staring forward, screaming in terror. It lured you to the chosen of Yig, and you defeated it. What is this? This isn't right. This isn't the way it's supposed to. Bang! Suddenly, it's hit by a giant bullet from a buffalo rifle. We're not going to...
Okay.
You're essentially heading down now into a narrative section, because the second that serpent person collapses, what this weird posture from these creatures was some kind of submission. A new alpha creature has moved in and has scared off all the other ones. So they begin to dart backwards, tearing forward and heading into the tunnels, leaving the collection of you suddenly alone next to the body of this massive creature and the other carcass of the now deceased snake person. The only noises you can hear is the faint panting of Mac as he tries to sort of hold in the wounds on his side, and further back, Decaya sort of wailing and yelling and shouting, "Snake! He's a snake! He shot me!"
The doctor?
The doctor shot me! He's a snake and he's getting away!
All right, come on. I reached out. I want to pick Decaya up in my bear-like arms, and I'm going to take him to go see the doc so the doc can help him.
You're heading in that direction. Do you think it's true? Do you think that the doc shot Decaya?
I don't know what to believe, but I know Doc's the only one that can fix you up, so that's where we're going.
Okay. Grease, Mac, the two of you are alone for a second. Do you share a look? Mac, you've just had your life saved by Grease.
I pretend I was notice.
Unbelievable.
Mac gets up, dusts down what's left of his
Makes
clothes.
me only want it more. It's working. I respect him. I gotta respect him. And I respect the badge.
Well, Blanca's getting the prisoners out. I'm gonna give her a hand.
You begin to
Wait,
walk
hang
down
on.
to-
Mac, could that have happened with Doc? Was there a moment when he could have been replaced?
Well, anything's possible down here in the shadows. You can go on going up with them and make sure there's a gun just at their side.
All right, if you're gonna be okay with Blanca.
Yeah, I reckon so.
All right, well, holler, fire a gunshot if something goes wrong, and I'll come running. All right, I'll see you soon. I'll jog off after Griff and catch up with him.
All right. Down in the depths, Blanca, you ask, "Are you sorry? Are you sorry?" I'm trying to think. I guess I'm going to throw it to you, Blanca. I think there's two ways this could go. I think that Maria could be sorry. Maybe she was trapped. Maybe she truly was just distraught and she couldn't anymore. And she couldn't extricate herself from this web of crime and horror that she placed herself into. Maybe she is sorry. Maybe she can never be sorry enough. Or maybe she just doesn't care. Maybe you never really understood the way that she thinks. Maybe she was trying to impress you. Maybe with all the times that you thought she was a genius, she was thinking the same about you. Maybe she was overcome by your appetite for stealing and robbing folks just as much as you were overcome by hers. What do you think, Blanca?
What do I think? I think that I think she would say more if Maria doesn't really say anything. Blanca's been sort of turning this over in her head for what has been probably like a couple months now that she's at least been looking.
Yeah.
And I think if she doesn't say anything, then she would go on. If Maria doesn't say anything, then Blanca would go on to say that, we didn't need anything more than what we had with, our gang and my kid. We didn't need anything more. And you keep saying there's more out there, but all I have seen in the time that I have spent looking for you and thinking about killing you for what you did is that the stuff that is out there is terrible. And we shouldn't have gone looking for anything more than the little sphere of this country that we had. And maybe it doesn't matter if you're sorry. I think, and I like looking at what's happened to her and all the other people that are around her, they just look like civilians. They don't look like
they're more lizard than person by now.
I can't even tell.
You can hardly tell. Yeah.
Okay, and look, and all these people that are around her, I think it doesn't matter anymore. You made a choice, and I'm here, and you're down there, and I don't think anything she can say really matters to Blanca anymore, and I just want to put her and these other folk out of their misery.
You finish what you've said, and it hangs heavy in the air. You feel your gun somewhat, and she does say one last thing. She, through a broken body and a broken throat, she manages to croak, "You're right. I'm so sorry." And she starts to cry. Or something like it.
And it occurs to me that I have a shotgun, which is not a super friendly way of euthanizing someone.
No.
So I'm gonna think about it, and then I'm gonna just lower my gun, and I'm gonna wait until Doc arrives and see what we can do to help these people.
Doc doesn't walk in, but a few seconds later, Mac does. Coming along, and you can see, Mac, you feel this dawning sense of horror. The prisoners that you were here for, you're too late. The cells are filled with creatures, horrible, deformed creatures, and you can see Blanca staring down at something that you assume is the original Maria Romero. Can you make me a sanity check upon witnessing all this?
I certainly can. As soon as I find my character sheet once more. Oh, good in the hood.
Is your sanity 97?
I started on 99.
Oh, good.
Your sanity.
I don't know what to tell you. I didn't lose much, and we got heaps of rewards.
We got a bunch back.
Therapy Cthulhu.
I'm more stable than I was when we started this almost.
Yeah.
If you succeed a bunch of stuff in Cthulhu, you get a bunch of sanity. It's really nice.
You feel better about your place in the world. It's nice.
I don't right now.
We saved a lot of people in the
Have
previous
we?
ones.
Look at
Yeah,
this
we did.
place.
We saved a whole
That's
crew
true.
of people
No, you're
in the
right.
snake lair,
This
and
was
for
a
each one of
gift.
those, we got like
This
we
was
got a
small
bunch.
gift.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, we'll see. There's still a lot to unravel here, but you can see Blanca standing, lowering her shotgun, and you come forward. There is a creature on the ground that was crying, but when you come in, it falls silent and it curls into a ball.
Well, any of them worth saving?
I don't think so. I mean, just look at them. Even if we could save them, this one looks like it's in a lot of pain.
All right. I don't much like wasting the bullets. Have I got enough fuse for like an hour timer on the dynamite?
Yeah, sure, certainly. I
blow
think
them
you can plant some dynamite and put it into towards the corner, and you can leave it.
There's nothing we can do for these people. I mean, put them out of their misery. I don't want to shoot them. It just seems cruel. But
Like
where's
I said,
Doc?
Well, that's a matter of debate as it happens.
What do you mean? What do you
Well,
mean?
As far as we can tell, he shot a companion and fled upstairs. Good chance he's one of them. Must have made the switch at some point, maybe back in the town. Either way, we better mosey on back up, see if we can rustle him up again. We'll make sure we're clear here by the time that fuse ticks down.
I am very conflicted about this. I do not like leaving these people here and then letting this mountain crush them.
Let me ask you something, Blanca. What did you think you were going to do once you got your revenge? I asked the same thing to Grease. I asked the same thing to Mac at the start of the session. What did you think you were going to do once you got your revenge against Maria?
I expected to find her as I remembered her, and seeing her as she is now and realizing that I don't need an apology, I kind of just don't want her or these other people to suffer any longer. I feel like Blanca has done a lot of terrible things, but Blanca has always tried to not hurt innocent people or people who are suffering or make people suffer. So I feel... I assumed that we would fight in the same way that Mac got to fight his rival. And so I feel very conflicted about just leaving them to their deaths, essentially.
You know that there are weapon storerooms here. If the worry that you have is that you don't want to use your shotgun to euthanize someone, there are tools and bullets and equipment that you could use. But unfortunately, Maria is not a shadow of her former self anymore, having been in the capture of the Serpent people. Like Hank Hanarati, it's not the same person that you set out to hunt.
Mac, how long have we got if you set a fuse?
Reckon I can give us an hour.
Where are you going to place it?
Well, right in the middle. Make sure it comes down on top of them.
You think it'll be quick?
It's more merciful than leaving them down here to rot.
Sorry, I saw you shaking your head. Oh no.
How do you like the idea of being buried alive?
Ooh.
Not much.
Because that's what you're going to do.
Well, in the absence of any better ideas...
Do I have a pistol?
You know what? You can. There's one that's nearby that was being used to test something, so you can see the equipment of the people that were brought in. You can have a pistol, yes.
Yeah, okay. Mac, just give me a minute, and then let's get out of here. And I feel like all the other people are too far gone, but as Maria still has some humanity left, I would rather she not suffer a terrible death. So I'm going to use the pistol that I find, and I'm going to put her out of her misery.
All right, Mac, you step outside, and a couple of seconds later, there's a flash of light and a faint crack from inside the room. Silence for a few moments, and then Blanca walks out looking different, like a weight has been lifted off her shoulders, but only been replaced with another one, perhaps. And the two of you find yourself rushing up. There's still a lot to unravel here. Now, jumping back in time a little bit, as we rush away. Also, thank you for a beautiful scene, Rachael and Jack.
For what it's worth, I think you made the right choice.
Doc, you hear battle behind you and you go tearing. Laboratory, have to find the laboratory. Luckily, it's not too difficult to navigate towards. You go tearing through. You do have to dodge little bits of masonry that are collapsing on one side, move left, move right, and finally you stagger out into this large room, and you get a weird flashback of being at John Hopkins, and you kind of think, oh, it's a similar shape. There's an odd sort of surgery layout, and as you're looking around, you can see all this incredibly detailed equipment. And your mind immediately starts flashing to some of the dreams that you've had, the discs that you have in your possession, and of course the single shot of antidote that you have, all of the tools, the language you're seeing, little bits of narcal fragments all over. You don't know what to look at first. There's so much. What would you like to do?
Griff said there was an off switch.
Off switch. Yeah, he did.
I'm gonna try and find it.
Okay, what skill would you like to argue to start decoding this? Library use is genuinely the best thing I can think of. Now, since it's not really a library, it's kind of an alternate, it's really a repository of knowledge in another sense. It will be a hard library check if you decide that.
I was gonna ask, because Joseph is not stupid, can I make an intelligence check?
Yeah, it'll be a hard intelligence check, I think, because you'll have to sort of decode. It's a different type of intelligence that these people have, but I think an intelligence test is fine.
What are your specific science skills, Doc?
My specific science skills outside medicine, which technically isn't a science, biology and pharmacy. So I could probably futz some chemistry, but that's the closest I've got. I don't get to use my pulp talent very often. If I make an intelligence check, I get a bonus dice.
Excellent!
Like, because I'm very good at putting things together, and I feel this might be appropriate.
I absolutely think so. I think that your pulp talent is going to be supremely useful here. Meanwhile, I'm going to move everybody off this map and across to this scene from the front cover, which with every passing moment appears to be making more and more sense.
All right, well, you have a success already. Let's see if we can make it any better. Oof.
Oh, just the same. No, look, a success, you are going to need to...
You could luck that 13, what is it? How many points is that? 13 points?
Alternatively, you can push this, and as you start to go through all of these things, you are noticing around you some of the potions that are all about, and upon them, this wild thought occurs to you, just crazy, that you've seen some of the creatures that have been experimented on begin to speak and hiss in Narcal and change. This wild thought occurs to you. You can see some of the solution that they appear to be using to transform people into snakes. You're certain that if you just chugged some of that, and it might start to take effect in you, but it would just alter your brain in that way that you need to completely decode everything that's happening here.
I've shot, or wanted to shoot, 3 separate snakes. So you can have 13 luck.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good idea.
Happy compromise.
You burn 13 luck. You begin to search through this stuff, and it is so complicated. It is literally alien technology. You can't see how this works. Well, it's not literally alien, I suppose, because it's from Earth, but just aeons before humanity was evolving from the trees. But you managed to find a reference point. You managed to slowly uncover what this system is, and it's not, Call of Cthulhu doesn't really have magic. Well, it does. It has a whole chapter called magic, but magic is just the applied sciences and the applied logic of things that we do not understand and creatures that we don't understand. So as you begin to tinker with these potions, I don't want to say you're doing magic, but it's close. What do you think it is that is the touchstone? What element of their technology are you able to recognize and are you able to link to? What is your Rosetta Stone for entry into this strange world?
I don't know if it's so much a thing, but when I started studying medicine with the Dark, I was running in dirt roads, and he had a tiny shack, and we were trying to help people as best we could. And then I went training, and I got taught about sanitation and germs and things that most people think are mad, like these tiny demons that get inside your skin and they make you sick. Like that's madness to most people. So I think what Joseph is really looking at here, what I'm looking at, is this don't make sense to most people, but I understand things that don't make sense to most people, and I apply them on a daily basis. So that is what I am using. I'm just I don't necessarily know it all now, but I don't not believe it.
And with an open mind, and specifically thinking about germs, thinking about small particles, and about that gas that you've studied some, you managed to break your way in, and you managed to understand exactly what is going on here. that collection of gas, the balloons are being bottled and they've been gathered in that chamber. And when everything erupts, which is happening desperately around you, all the while you're doing this research, you can still hear gunshots from down below and, chunks of the ceiling are falling about you. Are you looking frantic, mad scientist, or is there an odd calm to you as you go about and practice all this stuff?
I think it becomes a little bit like surgery. Joseph, the person, disappears.
Yep.
And Joseph, the mind and the brain and the focus just becomes this tunnel. And that's all. There's no Joseph anymore. There's just the body through which the medicine flows.
Excellent. So you come to 3 conclusions very quickly. The first is that this volcano is going to erupt. The shaking, everything, you can see some of the measures. They have set it too far in motion. They seem to have something down below, something causing the eruption, something that maybe they don't quite control entirely. The word, and this is a loose translation from Narcal, but burrowing horror starts to burrow its way into your mind, but you cast it away for a second, determined to try and figure out exactly what's going on. But this volcano is going to explode, and it's going to wipe out Santa Rosita. That's a given. That's just how volcanoes work, and no one, no application of medicine is going to stop that. But there is the question of the gas that is inside. Now, by causing a dynamite explosion inside the volcano, you've disturbed it. You've broken several of the balloons inside, and the gas has started to disperse. It is not going to be quite as lethal. It is not going to be quite as effective. This might not destroy the whole of New Mexico now, but this is definitely going to spread through, and this is going to have a huge and disastrous effect on the local area. But as you're looking through, you also start to think that this diffusion, the gas that they were building, was actually from a very small sample of that of the serum that they had developed, which was inadvertently raising the dead, but also changing their brethren into more advanced lizards. And you think that with your small dose of the antidote that you prepared a couple of sessions ago, your single hit, you could synthesize enough to release to neutralize the effect of the gas. There's a problem though. While you can set it up, someone is going to have to be manually bringing balloons of this stuff and letting it out into the area where the volcano is. And they're going to have to do it right up into the explosion. Someone might have to stay behind. At least that's what you think for now. Now, the third thing you realize is that somebody is coming, and a moment later, running footsteps appear, and Griff is the first to burst in, followed immediately after, because you were a little slow because you were carrying Decaya, Grease. So the two of you burst into the room, and you can see Doc, who is kind of looming over all these vials and substances, and looks towards you. What would you like to do?
I kind of burst in. I don't really I go as I'm talking, I go like, "Hey Doc, how you doing?" And I put Takea on the ground, and I want to start administering first aid to Takea.
Takea is trying to scramble away and pointing at Doc and yelling, "He shot me! He shot me!"
Yeah, sure. Let's just make sure you're all patched up. And get that.
Don't let him near me. But I'm getting this sense that Doc does not appear to be looking towards Takea. Doc seems to be completely absorbed with their work. Grease, meanwhile, you've come in. What are you doing at this point?
As Griff's planting him on the table, I step over towards it and then look at Doc, who's focused on his work. All right, Doc.
Yeah? What's up?
Did you shoot him?
Yeah, he tried to stop me. Put him on a table. I'll deal with him in a second.
Doc, you need to deal with him now.
I really don't. This is... I think I might be able to stop this. All of it.
This ain't gonna give a damn if people that we injured die. You need to make this right.
Grease, I could save the entire of Santa Rosita and New Mexico if I get this right. One person ain't worth that.
Well then, I think you're gonna have to do that by yourself. Griff, if we run, we can get him out of here. And we can give him, we can get him back to town or something. We got horses outside, but we need to go now. Get him up. You and I can't deal with this. We need a proper doctor. That's a bullet in him. Even if we get it out, it's going to fester or something. He needs help now. We need to run.
There's a...
Have I put this together at this point, or am I still working on it?
It's all implementation now. So you can start fixing the antidote and start. You're literally like finding the balloons that they were setting up and they were using. So you're gonna like vaporize your version of the antidote and start filling up the balloons with and letting these things out. But that is if you decide to be the one who's going to remain right up until the explosion. I think about at this point as you talk, because it's taking a while to move people around. Blanca and Mac, you're going to arrive in time to hear the end of this conversation between Grease and Griff. And I want you to finish what you were saying. Griff, you're in the middle of a sentence.
Grease, whatever's going to happen here, you and I were in some way responsible for it, and we gotta own up to that. Sometimes you gotta fix your mistakes,
We can't do a damn thing about this. I ain't got a fool's hope of solving anything. If Doc's the best at this, then that's fine, but this person needs help.
Actually, I need a lot of people to fill up balloons if we're gonna do this quickly. And also, never mind. Just if you can, extra hands would be mighty helpful.
If Doc says he knows how to fix this, I can't not help him.
We don't know that that's Doc. We don't know that what they're doing ain't making things worse. We don't know a damn thing, Griff. You and I are idiots. We're out of our depth.
What's the password?
That's why I gotta trust Doc, because Doc is the smartest man I ever met, and if he don't know what to do, then I don't know what to do.
You did hear Doc say, "What's the password?" back to you.
Yeah, it's asparagus. I mean, we should ask you that, actually, now that I have
kind of what I was going for, yeah.
Yeah.
Grease,
right.
I asked you to teach me to shoot. Griff, I gave you vials when he went up on the roof.
Yeah, but
Ask me
clearly you
whatever
don't
you
need
want. I'm
teaching. You shot plenty of people.
I'll process that later.
I lay Takeo on the ground, and I walk over to Doc, and I go, in like a soft voice, I lean over and I go, "What do you need me to do?"
And I'll explain the hands part. If I can, I'm assuming that if we're going to do this, I am focused on synthesizing antidotes and can't really help Takeo. If there is a point at which it just becomes busy work, I will change chat tack to deal with him because I do not want him to die. But if I cannot, this takes precedence.
Understood. Every moment you spend on this is going to be like 1 mile less that is affected. So it's going to be work right up to the end. You are immediately drafted into taking balloons of this strange. What color is it? We've had sort of the green toxins. What color is your antidote?
It's clear.
It's clear. Okay, fantastic. Bringing these balloons full of this strange clear gas.
Oh, cool. So to me, it just looks like you're filling them up with air.
and taking them and basically letting them into where the volcano is and running them back and forth.
This one's a
forth,
dog.
Blanca and Mac, the two of you are going to arrive around this time. Grease, you are there with Takeo. You can see Takeo is injured. Now, you're not a doctor. You don't know if he's necessarily dying or not. He's still mobile, at least, and he's kind of grunting and oohing and ahhing. What would you like to do? You can see that Griff has left and is now doing whatever the doc says.
I got 0 points in first aid. I just checked. I sit with Takeo. I don't sit with him. I stand next to him, and then I put a hand on his uninjured shoulder, and then I'm looking nervously between the door where I'm hoping Mac is about to appear very quickly, and then I'm keeping an eye on Griff and Doc out of the corner of my eye, and I am just aware that if they try something, I'm just aware, and I can draw my gun very quickly.
Thank you for staying with me. A few moments later, Mac, you burst in, and Blanca, you burst in. You can see Doc working. Doc, are you going to just yell at them, like, start filling balloons, or what's the go here?
No, I'm focused on what I'm doing, and I'm synthesizing. So unless they speak to me, I will explain it if they say something. But otherwise, I'm just going to focus because I've got Griff doing stuff, and I'm assuming he can tell them to fill balloons because he's got words.
Okay.
Right now.
Blanca, Mac, what are the two of you doing?
Doc, vegetable?
Argus.
Good enough for me.
Vegetable?
That was the worst password we ever made. This cannot be holding weight.
I still ain't never seen an asparagus, and I don't even believe they are a real vegetable.
Hell, give
They're
this
green
5
and-
minutes. You ain't ever gonna.
All right. So am I to understand, Mac? You're gonna allow yourself to be drafted. You're gonna start bringing balloons too.
Well, I don't know. If Takea's gonna bleed out, I can have a go at some first aid.
You wanna
Is he
make
looking
first
that
aid
bad?
Yeah. Make a preliminary first aid check just to try and tell.
I'll give it a go patching up, because then if
Yep.
he's got if that gives us another balloon filling arm, then good news.
Probably not that much. He's probably a bit beyond helping that effectively.
At least,
my-
it'll be less of a
Also-
burden.
My first aid is all right. I could have a go.
All right. Sure. Do you want to have a go, Blanca? All right. So
Oh.
Mac,
I'm on 50.
Maybe you should have a go.
I'll have a go.
If you were to have sort of a flip of the coin,
I'll flip that coin. Here it goes.
nope.
Is
Came
he
up
worth
heads.
29 points of luck to me?
Up to you.
up to you.
No.
Roll.
Giving
down.
NPCs a
Fucking
luck
cold.
value.
It was
down.
worth 28.
There's
Kinda-
a
he
couple
just
of
got
chemicals
shot.
of Bunsen burner over in some corner. You could try and cauterize the wound.
Please don't help
Push
me.
it, push
Push
it,
it.
push it, push it, push
Sorry.
it.
I don't.
Or don't. I don't know.
Whatever Doc says to do the opposite.
All right. Well, 50-50 chance. If I fail one, it means I'm guaranteed to succeed.
As math,
That's how probability works.
we can't
I
lose,
read it in a book.
baby.
All right, I'm gonna push it.
All right.
Just hold still. I know how to patch this up in a second. Bam!
No, you don't.
Oh my god.
We don't need to go into detail, but there is yells and there is charred flesh and there is a very frustrated Mac kind of going, leaning away from Takeo, who is now scrambling, trying to drag himself out. He's pulling himself up and trying to get away from you. Griff, you are still running back and forth, filling up balloons. Blanca, are you on the balloon pact or?
What are we doing with what's happening with the balloons? I would like an explanation.
That's fine. I just go, there's an antidote in them, and if we get them in, we might be able to save it. Almost everyone in Santa Rosita and probably New Mexico.
All right, I'm helping.
All right, the two of you now rushing forward. You failed this botched, some would say, this first aid test. You are left
Mac.
staring at Grease. Mac, I need to know what the two of you are doing. Are you committing to helping Doc, or are you going to leave?
Well, all right. If it's going to save people, we'll get to ballooning. One thing I should mention: we found some folks down in the cages, but they were past saving. Still alive though. So we thought the most humane thing to do would be to set the place to blow with some of the leftover dynamite.
It's blowing anyway, Mac.
That's what I figured.
All right, and you tear over and begin to help as well, leaving just you over at the side. Grease, Takeo is looking towards you. His arm is now bloody and smoking. He has terror in his eyes. He looks towards you, and you can't tell you can't tell exactly what he's feeling, but he says, "I'm gonna die here, aren't I?"
Oh hell, don't look at me. I don't fucking know a damn thing. I run over to the balloons and I leave him there on the table, bleeding.
Oh, make a sanity check for me, Grease, because I think that this really affected you.
Yeah, I think I might have. Oh, it's
Okay.
bad news bears for the
2
boys.
sanity damage, I think.
Alright,
Unless you want to luck it down.
no.
I think we're getting close to our daily.
All right. Now, the collection of you work. There is a constant rain of dust and debris around you. You, as you are running through the corridors, those of you that are running, you are forced to dodge falling masonry and let these things out into the chamber that is now, balloons are popping everywhere. You find yourself coughing as this burning smoke is getting into you. Doc, you were just in the middle, undisturbed, completely focused, synthesizing more and more of this antidote. I need everybody who is delivering up these balloons, so everyone but Doc, to make for me a dexterity check.
Fuck. Could it be any other check?
Holy shit.
Oh god.
Oh, he was the one with the high
God.
decks. Oh,
we both have really high decks. It's looking good.
Oh
Oh.
god.
Damn.
Spend some luck.
Yeah, 14 points of luck.
Okay. All right. 14 points of luck for you to succeed. Those of you
Done.
who failed, you have an option. You can either have the impact of your work be so minimal as not to be felt. You know, like you pop a balloon and you're scrambling and it's just too much. You can't do it. You're frantic. You're falling over. Or you can succeed but be injured by the debris and take a D4 of damage.
Or spend
I'll
some
take
luck.
the damage.
All right. Take the damage or spend some luck.
I'm spending some luck.
Okay. Grace?
Fuck. A D4 would be fine, but I think I'm ineffective. I think I'm already fairly conflicted about doing this, so I think
You
I
ain't
just...
got 14 points of luck to you?
Oh,
now?
I got it. You're just not getting it.
Fair enough. And as you continue running, rushing through, sending through these balloons, finally you tear back down, and the place is now completely getting unstable. Doc, as you're sitting here, you're running the maths in your head. You're trying to work things out, and you're thinking, okay, you basically finished the synthesization now. Next, it's just going to be positioning the balloons in the right place. This thing is going to explode at any point. If you stay, you now risk just getting caught in the explosion, and you will die if you do. That said, there is still work here that could be done. Someone could stay behind. You all could stay behind and sacrifice your lives. But now you have done a lot. You have done as much as you can without causing the death of you and your companions.
Then at that point, I will turn around to everyone and say, okay, y'all gotta get out. Leave.
Is it done? Are we done enough?
You're done. I got a bit more left to do. And this place is gonna blow. So you should get out.
You should come with us. What else you got to do?
Someone has to stay and make sure that this goes right. And
Well, Doc, there's no chance it's going to be you. Folks down the town are going to need you more than they need you to stay in here. Just tell one of us what to do. We'll stay behind.
I can't do that to any of y'all. I mean, I already hurt a man to try and get this done. I ain't gonna hurt anyone else.
Oh, Doc, look, if it's something that got to be done up in the top of the mountain, I got the best chance of climbing back out again. I reckon I could make it.
Griff, anyone who stays is gonna die. Ain't no ifs or buts about it.
Well, then it was me that caused this. It should be me that takes the burden.
Can't let that happen.
As the two of you stand off staring against each other, Doc and Griff, am I correct to assume that of the other three of you, none of you have sort of stuck your hands up? You're all moving, sort of waiting, ready to run? You look torn?
Would volunteer if I didn't have a kid.
Yeah, no, I think you're the last one to volunteer. Honestly, if you had tried to volunteer, Griff would have been like, no way.
Fair enough. So as the three of you stand at the side, Griff and Doc, the two of you are staring towards each other, and all of a sudden, Doc, you feel a hand on your shoulder. You turn and you see it's Decatur who has pulled himself up, and he looks towards you and he says, "You're not a snake. You're not a snake. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me down there. I'm sorry, but let me do it. Let me do it. I'm already injured. I'm going to be slow. I came in here expecting to die. I can do it. Just tell me what to do. People will need you out there. If you die, there'll be no good doctor for miles around, and more people will fail. We're wasting time now. Just tell me what to do."
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
All right. And I will show him what to do.
Excellent.
I will.
Perfect. Well, you give the information as quickly as you can. Decatur looks towards you and nods once or twice. Says to you, "You saved my son. Thank you for that." And then is going to take off, leaving the rest of you to go, and he's going to motion for you to leave. And as you all start to run, he's going to stop for a second, and he's going to grab you, Griff. and he's going to lean in, and he says to you the name of a place, and then he says, "I know what happened," and that place is the place that you walked into, where you saw all of your friends killed by the man that you were hunting. And he looks towards you once, doesn't say anything more than that, and then turns and he heads towards the deeper part of the volcano, leaving the collection of you to run, and you flee as Decaya walks off down towards his death. As the collection of you sprint towards the exit, can I have everyone describe to me what it looks like as you tear out onto the mountainside, scrambling through and running away from this thing? What do your characters look like now? It's been a long journey. Who wants to go first?
Mac has finally lost most of his coat. He's got just the shoulders barely clinging on, trailing behind. His tie was sliced in half, and there's blood oozing out from under his shirt from this enormous gash from the sword. So he's kind of like half running, half shuffling along as he tries to keep his guts in one place.
Griff is hurtling along, and he does not look civilized at the best of times, but there's sweat pouring into his beard, and it's all clumped and matted, and his hair, wild black and gray hair, is flying everywhere as it's matted and sweaty and gross, and he's panting heavily.
Grace? Please. Sorry.
I was going to say, I remember I started this journey with saying that Blanca had a mix of really nice clothes and some kind of ratty clothes, and now it's just ratty clothes.
Ratty clothes. Perfect. Love it. And Grace?
I am running just behind Mac and making sure to never go past him, so that if he does stumble or anything, I can grab him and make sure that he gets out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And Doc?
Doc kind of looks like he always has, a little dustier and worse for wear on the outside, but I think it's far more interesting what's going on the inside. Because he still looks like he has tunnel vision and does not feel a thing.
Perfect. All right. The collection of you sprint forward. You manage to get away for a while until the shaking gets too much. You fall to the ground, and then behind you there is an explosion, an enormous explosion that rings in your ears and drives you to the ground and chatters your teeth, and you can feel blood pouring from your eardrums, and smoke is in the air around you. There is chaos, there is noise, and there is fire, there is silence. Everyone can remove 5 points of listen to start off with.
Good.
Gosh. Yeah, that brings me below base.
Yep, same here.
I was gonna say, what's base?
20.
20.
Oh, fuck. Hearing damage.
The explosion over Santa Rosita destroys the town. There's no two ways about it. It's not a sudden wipeout, though. It's how these explosions tend to be. There's a lot of damage done immediately, but it wasn't a full, complete eruption. It wasn't like Pompeii, say. Instead, you were able to get down and evacuate some of the people. People forget about quarantine pretty quickly when the only hands that are reaching down to pull them away from rivers of lava are the ones of people who might be infected from Stillwater. It's a messy evacuation, and it's one that people lose their lives in, but fortunately there's a doctor there to make sure that not everyone loses their lives. You don't hear from Decaya again. Some of you might hear from Tarz's band again, but for the time being, they vanish off into the ether, not appearing for a long time. The rest of you spend the next weeks around Santa Rosita, recovering from the disaster and making sure that the antidote worked. Fortunately, Doc, it seems to have. And there's no more reports of the sickness, there's no more reports of the walking dead, and for a time, everything is gloriously, mercifully quiet. we're going to end the session there, pretty much. And we're going to go to a time jump before we come back to the next arc. It's going to be a long time, and all your characters are going to have a little bit of a chance to do some development, and things are going to be shaken up. Yes, what did you want to say, Griff?
Do one thing before we skip ahead.
Please.
In that I would like to find a small secluded place, and I'll invite the other 4 members with me.
Yep.
And I'd like to make a small but significant cairn of stones, which is like a stacking of stones, for Takea. And I would like to have a small funeral for him in a way. And I'll say, I ain't good with words, but suffice to say it, Takea was a good man, and without him, there would be many more dead.
I think it's truer words have never been said. You set up the cairn, and that's just one of the many things, and unfortunately, the many people that you have to mourn throughout the coming weeks. I want to ask a couple of questions to each of you. First of all, Grease, do you still want to be a deputy?
Yes. I think probably more so than ever. I think I'm back on the straight and narrow. I think more suspicious maybe, but more determined than before that those that do wrong must see justice.
Excellent. Doc, do you still want to be a doctor?
What else would I do?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, well, that's the question. Mac, do you still think that what you did to Hank Hanratty was right?
Well, yeah. And if Maria was one of the gang as well, then maybe she got what she deserved as well. Certainly not a whole lot less than what I would have done to her.
For sure. Griff, do you still want vengeance?
Yes.
All right. And Blanca, now that you've had the vengeance that you dreamed of, what are you going to do?
I'm in 2 minds.
Yeah?
I'm worried about all the things I have heard and seen, all the snakes. But I had a mission that I set out to accomplish, and I have accomplished it. And I may be ready to head back home.
I think that in the days that follow, your dreams won't be troubled as much by the face of Maria and the vengeance that you lack, but more of the family that you left behind, and maybe a dream of returning. Yes, Doc.
I was just gonna say, if it helps Blanca any, because we had a little heart-to-heart, and I maybe fed her a bit of booze to calm her down.
Yep.
At some point over the next couple of days, I'll walk over and give her, I assume my spending limit is acceptable, which is $10.
Yep.
And just say, I think it's maybe time you go see your son, hey? And I'll give her that. Actually, if I can, I will give her my cash, which is almost $20 in total.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Thank you.
Just get you on your way. Someone did that to me once, and I'm repaying the favor.
There is still plenty of horror to be had around Stillwater and down darker trails in general. Somewhere deep in a mine, Jim Owens is plotting something, and further away atop a hill, there is a man contemplating God who has some very, very dangerous thoughts. But we'll get back to all of that another time, and to get back to the other secrets that lurk in the rest of this campaign. We're going to leave things there for today. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And let's talk about announcements. So, first of all, thank you all for joining us. Remember, you can subscribe to the Twitch channel if you have your Amazon Prime account. So please do that, and you can catch up with all of our previous adventures on YouTube. Tune in for the White Bull streams, which take place on Saturday evening, Australian Eastern Standard Time, but all the times are up on our holding screen, which you can see. But we also have another thing to say, and that is a huge, massive, wonderful thank you to Rachael for having been on the stream for so long and for being with us for all these amazing games with all these amazing characters. Rachael is going to be stepping away, and we thank you so much for everything that you've given to us, from the first characters in the Second Last Resort through to Berlin, through to Cold Fire, through Shadows Over Stillwater, and everything in between. The time when you were running video games, it's just been a blast. And,
I forgot about that.
thank you from all of us and from all of the audience. Do you want to say anything? Talk about what you've got going on and everything?
I just want to say that this was really fun, and I'm really glad to be part of this, and I'm really excited to keep following it, even though I won't be on it. Yeah, that'll be really. I'm really looking forward to sitting in an audience role for once.
It'll be great to have you there. Thanks so much, Rachael, and thank you to all of our cast, and thank you to all of you, audience. We're going to be back next week with more of the Shadows Over Stillwater campaign. Wowee, New Mexico didn't get destroyed. Isn't that lucky? Thanks all.
Good luck
See
next
you
time.
later.